So the New York Police Department, the NYPD, is trying to fix up their public image. You know, after a summer of police brutality, where one man was choked to death, another shot in his hallway by a cop who shouldn't have even been in his hallway. You know, I feel like there's so many on the list I would just take forever. So let's just get to what they're doing to fix this. I mean, Michael, you would think retraining. You would think, you know, at least some sort of meetings, weed out the bad apples, as they like to call them, to say, you know, it's not a system-wide, it's not a problem throughout the police department. It's just a few people who cause these issues.
You would
think they would do that,
if
right?
you weren't following the issue at all, yeah.
Well, Capital, New York, has discovered that one way the NYPD is addressing these issues is by editing Wikipedia pages. That's right.
That's awesome.
Computers operating on the NYPD's computer network, you were able to tell because you could see the IP addresses that make edits onto Wikipedia. They're all logged, and then those IP addresses, you could use that, you could input those IP addresses and find out the location they're coming from. And those IP addresses are all from one Police Plaza. That's the NYPD's headquarters in New York City. And those computers have been used to alter Wikipedia pages containing details of alleged police brutality. The network that the NYPD headquarters uses has edited and attempted to delete Wikipedia entries on several well-known victims of police altercations, including entries for Eric Garner, Sean Bell, and Amadou Diallo. It doesn't end there either. The NYPD IP addresses have also been used to edit entries on stop and frisk, NYPD scandals, and prominent figures in the city's political and police leadership. Now, if you're wondering what sort of edits were made, let's get to a few of them. On two separate occasions, a user using the 1PP, the One Police Plaza network, edited sections of Wikipedia's New York City Police Department entry. That is the basic entry for the NYPD. The entry that described police misconduct was edited. The user, in June of 2006, deleted over 1,500 characters from the scandals and corruption section. Just outright deleted them. Including, and here's the real kicker, including a sentence that claimed at the end of March 2006, that's just a few months before this, NYPD started to make changes to this very article in an attempt to censor scandals and corruption information. So they edited the Wikipedia entry that said they edit the Wikipedia entries. In June of 2008, a user on the 1PP network deleted the entire allegations of police misconduct and civilian complaint review board and other incidents from the NYPD entry. As if there were never any allegations of police misconduct ever in the NYPD history to put on Wikipedia. And then we get to specific cases. In November of 2013, a user on the NYPD 1PP network edited the Wikipedia page for Amadou Diallo. Now, if you recall, he's the unarmed black man who was killed when police mistook his wallet for a gun back in 1999. 41 shots. It was a big issue in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's still one of the most horrific cases of NYPD today, if you ask me. The person using the IP address edited made two edits to a sentence about one of the officers, Kenneth Boss, involved in the shooting. They changed the sentence, Officer Kenneth Boss had been previously involved in an incident where an unarmed man was shot but remained working as a police officer, to Officer Kenneth Boss had been previously involved in an incident when an armed man was shot. So they changed that previous incident from an unarmed man to an armed man, And they completely removed the "but remained working as a police officer" from the entry. Gotta make it sound like the officer was right, but the NYPD, just to be safe, maybe, they gave the guy the correct punishment, I guess you can say,
Right.
the correct course of action, and they removed him from duty. Clearly, though, that was not the case. On November 2006, the NYPD had killed Sean Bell. This was the man who was, he was at a club with his friends, and they were celebrating, his wedding was the next day. They were celebrating his bachelor party. And him and his friends were shot 50 times. The three men, Sean Bell and his two friends, were completely unarmed. At the time, this started a citywide protest, much like we've seen this past summer and fall and winter, against police brutality. In April 2007, a user on the NYPD network attempted to delete the entry on Sean Bell's shooting completely. They noted in the internal Wikipedia page articles for deletion. Now, when you make changes to Wikipedia and people and other editors of Wikipedia have an issue with it, you're able to explain in the back end, sort of, like an administration type page, why you made the changes, what your reasoning for that was, why you deleted an entry, maybe it wasn't notable enough. And the person, who oddly enough came from 1PP, said that he, speaking of Sean Bell, the man who was shot to death, was in the news for about 2 months, and now no one except Al Sharpton cares anymore. Just unbelievable. What? The police shoot people every day, they continued, and sometimes with a lot more than 50 bullets. This incident is more news than notable. Unbelievable.
What's that toe thing? A tour? Whatever. Just go to the friggin'.
whatever.
I don't care.
But the last example I'll get to, and this is just wow. So the NYPD, after you heard what they're editing, what they've been editing on Wikipedia, surprisingly enough, they've also been edit happy on Wikipedia on the page of the death of Eric Garner. Now, he was the man who was choked to death in Staten Island by police officer Daniel Pantaleo, and there was big protests in this country after the grand jury decided not to indict the officer, even though it was caught on video that Eric Garner had his hands up and he was choked and pulled to the floor. If you're wondering what the NYPD's response to that, it's to make the following edits to Wikipedia. Garner raised both his arms in the air was changed to Garner flailed his arms about as he spoke.
Oh my God.
Push Garner's face into the sidewalk was changed to push Garner's head down into the sidewalk. We were just laying his head on a pillow.
You know what would make it sound better? It's like versus the face.
Just his head,
Just his head.
It's like we were laying him down like we would put a baby in a crib.
Calm down there, you. You have to lay your head on the sidewalk.
Use of the chokehold has been prohibited was changed to use of the chokehold is legal but has been prohibited. The sentence, Garner, who was considerably larger than any of the officers, continued to struggle with them, was added to this description of the incident. So they wanted everyone to know that, Garner was a big guy. He was asking for it, And to me, the most absurd edit, instances of the word chokehold were replaced twice. Once to chokehold or headlock. And once to, and here we go, respiratory distress.
Hey, who hasn't been through some respiratory distress?
I wasn't choking the guy. I was just inflicting some respiratory distress.
I will be very clear. Choking, no. Respiratory distress, yes.
It's just, my God.
Guys, come on.
Maybe the NYPD retraining was literally like, all right, class, this is how you edit Wikipedia.
For all the real cops out there, and obviously there are many who are saving lives and doing good stuff, at the same time, this is a very systemic problem. And the whole notion that this is just a few bad apples thing, it's obviously not true.
Excuse me, Michael, I got to go edit the
Excuse me.
Wikipedia page for
Yeah.
bad apples.
Yeah. I'm going to go, excuse me, do you have like a transcription service on the Majority Report or something that maybe I can get the back end to? I guess if they're editing Wikipedia, they're not killing people.
That's true.